Hi, welcome to my restore class. It is yin at the wall. So all you need is a wall today, and always an option to use a blanket, maybe placing it underneath the hips or underneath the head, just for a little added support and just to be as comfortable as possible. I recommend wearing some nice comfy clothes, and we'll go ahead and get started. So just coming over to the wall, and just remember there's no graceful way to get up there. I like to place one hip as close to the wall as I can get it, and then start to lower down onto the side, and you can scoot a little bit closer towards the wall, and then just start to kick one leg up at a time. And you'll probably need to shimmy around a little bit to get comfortable. And just making sure that you have enough space to the left and the right to extend the legs out. We're just gonna start with the legs directly up the wall, and you don't need to be perfectly against it. So if there's a little bit of space between you and the wall, that's okay. And just start to get comfortable. The arms can be resting down by the sides, or maybe resting the hands on the belly. And wherever you are, just closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And just starting to settle into your space, collecting any of that scattered energy, and just allowing yourself to arrive on your mat. And just beginning to notice your breath. So without any changes, just noticing its quality. Notice if it's smooth or choppy, shallow or deep. Is it coming more from the belly or from the chest? And just beginning to deepen the breath. On the inhales, feeling the rise of the belly. And on the exhales, feeling the fall. Taking full deep breaths in and full deep breaths out. So there's a lot more stillness in a restorative class. And sometimes the mind starts to wander. Whenever you notice that happening, just gently redirecting your attention back to the breath. So using the breath as a way to be present. So this is legs up the wall. So we're getting the feet above the heart. Helping with circulation, releasing in the lower back and the hamstrings. That's especially good if you've been standing, walking on the feet all day, or even if you've been sitting a lot. I'll just take a couple more rounds of breath here. Now you can stay as you are or coming into half butterfly against the wall. And we're going to start by allowing the right leg to fall open, keeping the right leg straight. And then bending the left leg like you're coming into butterfly position. So just making sure that each of the poses feels sustainable in your body. So we do hold these a little bit longer than our other yoga styles. And just beginning to notice the inner thighs, the inner hips, and see if you can keep the left hip heavy on the ground. And just remembering that it's not a practice of force. We're allowing our body to ease into it. A lot of times we think of yoga as a practice of doing, achieving different yoga positions, making different shapes in the body. Let's take a moment to switch it out. So drawing the right foot back in and then extending the left leg out. Remember, you can always just keep the legs straight up the wall. And this time, keeping the right hip heavy, really noticing that opening in the left inner thigh. So going back to this idea that typically we think of achieving, making different shapes, and just beginning to shift that perspective. Seeing if yoga can be more of a practice of undoing. Undoing the things that tend to block us in our practice, in our lives. And this time, slowly come back through center, and you can keep the legs straight up, or this time extending both legs out for straddle. And it's not about how low the legs get. Just allowing gravity to do the work for you. So some of those blockages that get in the way of our practice, they can be mental, physical, emotional. So it might look like actual tightness in the body, or just general structure of our body that prohibits certain movements. Or maybe it's a belief that we hold, an expectation of what we can or cannot do. Or it may be more emotional blockage, a feeling that gets in the way. So in these classes where we're pausing, holding, really taking the time to tune into those blockages. Allowing the breath to dissipate some of them. You may notice that the longer you hold a pose, your body starts to soften into it. But there's also moments where if the sensation becomes too much, listening to that and easing your practice back. Take your time, and we're gonna slowly draw the legs back together. And you may need to give them a little shake. And we'll be coming into figure 4 against the wall. I like to scoot just a little bit further away so you have a little bit more space for opening in the hips. Start by taking the right ankle and place it on the left thigh. So it's below the knee, closer to you. And just see how that feels, gently pressing the right knee forward. And to deepen, start to bend the left knee, the left foot can plant against the wall. And just lowering the foot as far down as you need to until you find the stretch in the outer right hip and glute. So we'll be holding here and just keeping it active, the right knee pressing forward and using the resistance of the wall to deepen the stretch. And just sending the breath towards the sensation. And on every exhale, letting go of some holding, tensing, or gripping. And in those moments where you notice your thoughts drifting, maybe thinking about when you can get out of this pose, just see if you can sit with the sensation. If you can draw the attention back to the breath. And when you notice those moments of distraction, letting go of any sense of judgment, of it being good or bad. Just redirecting back into the present. And take your time, slowly start to unwind. You can straighten the legs, bring in a little bit of movement. And when you're ready, switch it out. This time, left ankle on the right thigh, the left knee pressing towards the wall. Take your time, start to bend the right knee, planting the right foot on the wall. Just take a few moments to settle into this side. And you may notice that one side feels a little bit more tighter. So for me right now, I'm noticing that. And one side is a little bit more open. And so this side you may not go as far, but just really seeing if you can create that same sensation. So finding your edge, a place where it's not too much, not too little. Really taking this time to turn inward, to listen to your body, listen to how you're feeling. Oftentimes we get so busy, and just taking this time to really pause, reflect, refilling our own cup. And just slowly start to unwind. You can Give the legs a little shake, let it go. We'll come into an easy twist against the wall. So bending the knees and just start to drop them over towards the left. And then the arms can cactus at shoulder height or keep the arms straight. And it may feel good to take your blanket or a block. Maybe you place it in between the knees just for a little added support so the body's doing a little less work. Keeping the shoulders heavy towards the ground. Maybe feeling a gentle opening across the chest. Just gently wringing out the body, rejuvenating the spine. Maybe the chin drops towards the right, completing the twist into the cervical spine if that feels safe. And take your time, slowly come back through center, and we'll switch it out. Drop the knees over towards the right. And if it feels good, chin drops over towards the left. Just wringing out some of those blockages that aren't serving you. Whether it's a thought, some physical tension, storyline that you've been holding on to. So on the inhales, breathing in fresh new energy. Exhales, letting go of anything stale, anything not serving you. Take your time. You can remove the blanket. And then just coming back through center. And then gently rolling over to your favorite side and just pause there for a moment. So before sitting back up, just giving ourselves a moment of breath to avoid that adrenaline rush. And when you're ready, pressing into your hands and just slowly finding a comfortable seated position. Another option is to lie down, maybe with a blanket rolled up underneath the knees, but just take a few moments to get comfortable. I like to sit against the wall to feel my spine long. Just soften in the shoulders. We'll be moving through a breathing exercise to close our practice. So it's an equal breath in and an equal breath out. It's called Samavriti. So you'll inhale to a count of 4 and then exhale to a count of 4. Just start by emptying your breath. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Just take a few more rounds on your own. You may notice that you need to shorten or lengthen the count. Just keeping the inhale and the exhale the same length. So by balancing the breath, we help to calm the mind and relax the nervous system. Take about 2 to 3 more rounds. And then just returning back to a natural breath. Take a moment, notice how you feel. Notice if you feel a little calmer, more grounded, more present. We'll close our practice, hands into heart center, sit tall. Let's take a deep breath in. And an open mouth exhale, let it all go. Bowing forward from my heart to yours, namaste.